Amazon. And
That's right, Chris. Amazon is shutting the doors on Amazon Style. According to Retail Dive, Amazon will close the doors on its 2 Amazon Style stores by tomorrow, November 9th. Quote, after careful consideration, we've decided to close our 2 Amazon Style physical retail stores and focus on our online fashion shopping experience, where we're offering new, exciting selection at a great value and introducing innovative technology to meet the needs of every consumer, end quote. Amazon spokesperson Kristen Kish said via an email to Retail Dive. Physical retail remains an important part of our business, and we're continuing to invest in growing our grocery stores business, which expands across Amazon Fresh, Whole Foods Market, Amazon Go, and third-party partnerships, end quote. Chris, how does this news make you feel?
And I got to tell you, this one saddens me. I mean,
Yes.
this headline saddens me probably the most of any headline this year.
I know.
You know, in some ways I'm not surprised, but you know, it really does. It makes me sad because on the surprise front, I'm not surprised because the experience as it was designed, you know, guide stop style, having to wait for everything to be brought out of the back, you know, that introduces friction into the average apparel shopping experience that wasn't there before. We've talked about that. Like if I'm a guy and I want to come in, just buy a basic tee, that's not something I want to have in my experience. So for that reason, we were always questioning whether this thing was doomed to fail.
Right.
But it's also why I'm really keen to see how they're doing Just Walk Out in apparel, you know, by way of the fan stores, because I think that could really be a game changer as we get right down to it. So, and not necessarily for Amazon opening up the concept, but more as a licensor of the tech to other apparel retailers too. Some of whom I think, and if you think about this really long term, like 10 or 15 years out, could also be possibly acquired by Amazon at some point too,
right,
depending on what Amazon learns from the licensing of that technology. So, but the biggest reason I'm sad, Ann, is, and I think you feel the same way, I never got to see this.
I know.
And the time horizon was really short on it too. Like it was like a little more than a year, maybe 2 years at best.
2 years, I think, total. Yeah. I mean, the Columbus one opened probably about a year ago, but yeah, such a bummer.
Yeah.
So,
and the California one hasn't been open that long, but like, you know, so like for me, it's like, it must really not have been working too, because Amazon tends to let their experiments run longer than that. But hey, kudos to them at least for trying it. I think this was an experiment, unlike one we'll talk about later, that I think was worth trying.
yes.
And so I always give you points for that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that what I'm trying to hold on to here is that there's still hope. Like, I don't think this is the end of what we'll see from Amazon and apparel offerings in a physical setting. I think it's just a reimagination. It's doing what Amazon does best, taking this back and saying, what were the friction points here? Because there were, to your point, there were still some friction points with having to wait, you know, and that it doesn't make for the ease of a shopping experience that we're used to, especially when we're shopping apparel on Amazon, where you're just going for white 5-pack of t-shirts like that. This experience was not designed for that. So I think, well, it's not the end, but just going to be a reevaluation, especially with the Just Walk Out RFID capabilities that you mentioned that can really make this shopping experience so much better, especially once I think you could see it combined with a grocery offering, if that's the way that Amazon decides to go. Because I think that's where you really start disrupting the Walmarts, the Targets, the other mass retailers of the world. If you can start to combine that technology, which I believe they're starting to do. So I think that's, to me, where I'm going to hold on to some hope. Hold on for one more day, as Wilson Phillips would say, Chris.
Okay, I get that reference, Ann. I get that reference. That was in Harold and Kumar. Of course I get that, you know, but
and Bridesmaids.
Such a great scene. Yes, both of those are such great scenes. That's a great point though. Yeah, like if you could get this to the super center size operation, then you start getting different logistics, different back room configurations as well that could come along with this, which could play into Amazon's already strong points of differentiation. So yeah, that could be a road we get to. Probably not soon, but yeah, 5 to 10 years out, you know, 15 years out. Very disruptive, very great idea, and I love it. God, I'm getting Jones for this podcast already. I don't want to hold on, Ann. Maybe just for one more day. All right, headline number 2.
It was like a robot singing Wilson Phillips. That's terrible. Hold on,
all right.
One more day. Like an Oompa Loompa or something.
Oh, I know. And I'm trying to control the pitch of my laugh too, Ann, as I giggle